Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Rory Johnson, and I am an Area Vice President in the On-Premise Applications Unlimited organization. Our team supports all of your on-premise applications, including EBS. We have a very large EBS community, thanks in large part to those of you who have joined us today and who are continuing to invest in EBS. Today you will be hearing from Lenore Sigler and Earl Eldridge, Senior Directors at Oracle EBS Product Management, who will be discussing the new capabilities and product roadmap for EBS 12.2, Order Management, Inventory, Warehouse Management. Today you'll learn how to improve your order fulfillment, achieve optimal supply chain execution to meet revenue goals, and improve warehouse efficiency. In addition, you will hear about the innovations and opportunities for EBS training from Oracle University. Without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Earl Eldridge, Senior Director of Product Management for EBS.
Thank you, Rory. I guess by now many of you are familiar with our Safe Harbor statement. And then what we're going to talk about today is the Order Management Product Family Update, along with Lenore will join us, the Logistics Product Family Update, the roadmaps, and the customer engagement. So one of the things we've been doing across the suite is building upon the strengths of the EBS Integrated Global Suite and a lot of investment drivers and multi-release development themes. And what I mean by that I'll talk about further, but we'll build the foundation and then subsequent releases will augment it. And then another key important for us is customer drivers, customer requests. And you can see with this map we've got an awful lot of functionality being built across the board with EBS products. So we'll talk about the Order Management Product Family Update. And what do I mean by the Order Management Product Family? It consists of Advanced Pricing, Channel Revenue Management family of itself, iStore, our e-commerce platform, Order Management, and Quoting, EBS Quoting. So some of the key enhancements that we've done for Order Management 12.2 is subscription and service ordering, recurring billing. This is our foundation. We built subscription and service ordering, added recurring billing, built Milestone Billing on top of that, and we've also augmented that with some new HTML UIs. So in 12.2 to 12.5, we gave you ordering subscription and services with EBS, combination of products, services, subscriptions, warranties. You can turn around and do a subscription ordering, capture it to OM, we'll pass it to service contracts. You can issue your first bill from order management and subsequent billing from service contracts. We've given you extended billing capabilities for extended warranty and selling model with various services as an option. Example, you can do a cloud subscription along with apps in the same sale. So our HTML user interface, this we started 12.2.4, and we're adding new screens to it every year. Basically going to give you parity with what you have in forms. And regardless of what we build, we're building both in forms as well as the HTML UI. So Order Management Milestone Billing, we'll talk about that a little bit further, but that's another one that we added in 12.2.7 built on the subscription framework. So our Advanced Pricing solution, of course, we're all familiar with that. Most of you are using it today, and we'll have a lot of enhancements coming up in that in the years going forth. So the Channel Revenue Management family, what is it? It's a family of 4 products, and we'll talk about each one at a high level. So the first one being the Accounts Receivable Deduction Settlement. They don't allow us to use acronyms, but what it is, end-to-end deduction, dispute management flow. This is one of the largest deduction management products in the marketplace today with a whole host of functionality. On top of that, we've added the channel rebates and point of sale management. So if you've got any kind of complex pricing programs, volume discount, retro pricing, we give that to you here. These are basically the steroids for our advanced pricing product. We've added 2 new products in 12.2, I believe it was, Oracle Supplier Ship and Debit. This is more for the wholesale distribution. It accomplishes what we've always done, but allows them to request funds and transfer funds back and forth between themselves, their vendors, and their customers. Then we added Oracle Price Protection. So if you're, say, you're a semiconductor distributor, you bought all these chips, and your price is going up and going down, and you've got to worry about your price. You've got to worry about revaluing your inventory. This is all automated for you. So we talked about milestone billing. What that is, built on top of the framework, you've got the ability to turn around. Many customers wanted to be able to create more than one invoice per order. And they need to think such as, hey, I want to accept my down payment. So you turn around, example, milestone billing, you might get a 20% down payment on booking, 50% on shipping, and 30% upon customer acceptance. You can turn around and base it on any OM event, booking, fulfillment, customer acceptance, and you can do custom defined milestones. So if you wanted to turn around and say, okay, we're not going to bill until after training is done, you can create a milestone for that and capture your billing that way. Typical use cases, you might bill for a product with long lead time. Imagine if you're buying an MRI machine for a hospital, you want to get that down payment, you want to take some money for it, but you don't want to have a project. You don't need, it's not as complex as a project. You may have 3 or 4 billings. We'll handle that for you. And that was released in 12.2.7. Some of the other enhancements we've done in order management 12.2.7 is scheduling enhancements. We're constantly working on performance improvements. So just making it a lot easier for you. We're giving you support for manual item substitution after an order booking, and we're giving you REST services through the Integration Service Group, ISG. Channel revenue management, we've done a lot of work on that. Many customers are hesitant to go to another or an outside party. They're always worried about how to do my pricing. So we've given you support to turn around and integrate with non-EBS apps. And that can be a cloud application. That can be any product out there. You just decide whether you're going to use EBS Order Management, EBS General Ledger, and we'll turn things on and off for you. It's quick and easy deployment, basically plug and play, and it's cloud-ready channel. We've also given you multi-currency approval rules for claims. So if I'm in Europe and I want to do an approval and I've given you $1,000 US, no matter what form that claim comes in, it'll automatically convert and you'll be able to set up the approval once instead of having it set up multiple times. So custom beneficiary support, we have a number of customers that turn around every time they create an accrual, they want to send that accrual off to somebody else. They either want to pay somebody else or collect from somebody else, another third party. We've given you that capability in 12.2.7, make it a little easier. You can have a unique beneficiary to every single accrual record. So with our EBS quoting, we've given you status extensions. Prior to this, you had to create a one set of quotes, and every country had to follow that. Now you can turn around. Your U.S. business unit may have a lot more states that you want to go through, but I could be in the European Union, and I just got 3 states. Draft it, send it to the customer, and customer approved. You can do this now by business unit. So some of the additional enhancements we've done in EBS quoting, support for services quotes, offer optional cross-sell. So if you're in a business and you want to turn around and somebody's ordering fly sets, you want to sell batteries for it, you can do that. You can personalize your quoting approvals on the mobile approvals app, one of the mobile applications we introduced a few releases ago. You can use a user item description. So you may call it a widget, they may call it a gadget. You can put their item description on there, and your quote name can default from whatever setup you have. So iStore is basically our e-commerce platform that's as part of the e-business suite. So iStore, we're still enhancing that. We're still augmenting it, adding functionality to it. We're allowing you to specify order types, defaulting rules for users based on that. We're actually bringing into parity what we had before, improving it, but also we lost this functionality due to multi-org access security in R12, but it's back in there now. Our e-commerce platform is perhaps the best B2B secure platform out there. So order management, some of the things that are coming to you in 12.2.8, AME approval, we added that for return orders and quotes in a few releases ago, but it made sense to add it for outbound orders. So if you think about it and you turn around and you're giving away sample products, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody approve that so that you're not having a salesperson maybe giving samples out in excess of what your company norms would be? So we're allowing you the ability to add approvals to that. Item orderability framework. Again, we're building on what we had. We've added customer class as an additional attribute for defining rules. So if you think of the item orderability, it's just a way to turn around and determine who can order what. And we call that a framework because we're making it easier for you to, instead of doing customer by customer, you can put a group of customers. So, for example, my retailers cannot buy this product, or my retailers can buy this product only. So it's a little easier to maintain the rules at the customer level. And we've added customer classification for that. All right, so 1228 sales agreements. We've given you public API enhancements. So before, you had to go in there and do a lot of things. Now you can update a sales agreement with line attributes. You can delete a sales agreement lines. You can add lines using our new APIs. We've also added the credit check processor program. So reevaluate booked order, supply hold, and or release hold. Now when you're applying a hold, we're looking at order lines booked but not picked yet for processing. We're making it easier for you so that you're not having to constantly go in there and release a hold. Every time you do something, it goes back on hold. Some of the other items that we've enhanced would be your related items window. We've given you fulfillment of bill-only lines. Before that, you couldn't do that. Now, automatically fulfilled and closed after booking. We've added the option to do that. Hold management of the bill-only lines. Bill-only lines will not go on automatic hold for defined on ship line workflow activity. And we give you some order purge enhancements, a new option to selectively delete order acknowledgement details on purging the orders. So in channel revenue management, we talked about that. We've added performance improvements for volume offers. So you think of when you're creating a volume offer, the amount of data we go through there, particularly if you've got a retroactive capability and you turn around and you cross another tier, we're going back through millions and millions of records. So now we've given you a profile to say, yes, it'll only process those accruals which are not tier adjusted. And then also you can do a process of running that program just for a single offer. Some of the additional enhancements we've done that, claims associations enhancements, making it easier for you to associate the dollars when you're trying to pay out a promotional claim or collect promotional claim. Giving you relaxed rules for the payment, giving you settlement exception handling so that when a claim is processed through accounts payable and something happens in accounts payable, you can turn around and reverse all of that transaction. Offer ledger, budget ledger validations, sort of driven by some of our friends in Europe. Make sure that they create a promotion for their customers, but it's coming from the only budgets that are eligible for it. Giving you reconciliation for offers, that's been enhanced so that I can turn around and during the course of a month, I can turn around and enhance an active offer, an active promotion. And then mass settlement enhancements. So mass settlement is the capability to take any transactions from AR and short payments in channel management and start offsetting them. So quoting, giving you the ability to upload products from a spreadsheet, add a large number of products in one go. So prior to this, you had to turn around and search and add individual products one at a time. So promote reuse for frequently purchased products. So if you know this customer's always going to buy the same items, you can have a template for that and upload them all at one shot. So ISO, we're giving you a promotion code profile, giving you the ability to also copy prior order items, make it a little quicker. So you think of a B2B, if you're going in there constantly ordering the same items, rather than have to search for it, you can turn around and grab 3 of the items from a prior order and copy it to the new one. So with that, I'll turn it over to Lenore to talk about logistics.
Okay, everyone. Hi. Again, my name is Lenore Sigler, and I'm EBS Product Management for Supply Chain, and I'm going to give you an update on logistics. Thanks, Earl, for that OM update. We're going rather fast, but don't worry. There's going to be a lot of information, links that we're going to share towards the end of the presentation. Essentially, we're really trying to give you just a snapshot of information on what's available in 12.2 for order management and logistics. Again, you'll get the recording and the presentation after this session, and again, we're going to share many more links with you where you can get much more detail. So, again, we're trying to keep a pace here. It's relatively brisk, but we want to be able to answer some of your questions, and again, not take up too much of your time. So with that, let's move into logistics. The logistics family in EBS consists of Oracle Inventory, which is obviously the base of a lot of the EBS products, warehouse management, and more advanced inventory application. We also have our mobile supply chain applications, or MSCA, that some of you may use. And we have a new product called Yard Management that we released in 12.2.4. So not so new, but still relatively new to our suite. And we'll just touch on that, see if it may fit any of your business requirements. So the key investment themes for logistics is we've added some things for flexible material and serial tagging. We'll go through that. Lots of warehouse throughput efficiencies. We just spoke about yard management. We continue to enhance the product in general. Earl mentioned customer-driven ERs. A lot of what we're doing now is we're really depending on you, our customers, to help us guide what we do in the future. And again, I'll explain how we're doing that, and we hope that you'll participate in some of our input sessions. We're obviously trying to upgrade the HTML and the user interface as much as we can every release. And then we have smartphone applications for many of the EBS applications. And specifically for the logistics family, we have the mobile supply chain application, which we continue to enhance. So one of the big enhancements we've done in 12.2.5 of affects order management and logistics is the ability to assign and track serial numbers at any point of work. So basically, you can do serial tagging for an item in an organization at various places. Before, that was very limited on where you could do it, but now you're no longer required to capture serial numbers while moving material within the warehouse. And you're only required to enter those serial numbers when the item is picked to move to a staging lane for shipping. So you can enable this during WIP completion and return, field service issue and return, return to vendor, and you can also do it for internal and external sales order picks. And you can do this for your warehouse management organizations and also your process manufacturing organizations. So again, a lot more flexibility on where you decide you're going to capture those serial numbers. It really is helping, and this is a big one where we got a lot of customer feedback on to allow this feature. Another nice feature we added in 12.2.6 is material classification. So very flexible feature which allows you to use certain classifications for materials. Originally, we designed this for country of origin, again, something that's been requested by many of our users, so that you could basically assign a country of origin to a particular product, so you can capture that classification code or country of origin during picking and shipping. And you can print those on packing slips and shipping labels. But it's not limited to country of origin. That was the main thing we set it up for. We made it very flexible, so you could use it for other use cases, and maybe there's packaging codes and things like that you want to use material classification code. But nonetheless, it's really a nice way to, again, denote certain items and classifications for things that are being picked and shipped as they go out of the warehouse. Another very productive feature that we added is zone picking. So again, increasing your productivity in the warehouses. Many warehouses are divided in different zones for efficient picking. So in earlier releases, our dispatching logic really did the task only at the sub-inventory level. But this new feature enables your operators to sign into a zone and filter those tasks just for that zone, dispatch to that zone. So you can use that with our WMS rules engine framework to configure picking and put away and task type assignments based on those zones. And then use our warehouse control board and you can query and manage all those tasks by zone. So again, really helping the improvement and efficiency in the warehouse. We continue to enhance our user interface. Many of the inventory and warehouse management forms are still in forms. So now we've really stepped that up, starting out the receiving HTML user interface. So you can go there and do all your receiving. It's predefined information tiles, and you can quickly identify those receipts that need to be received or delivered. You can verify and make changes during those receipts and deliveries, and then you can just view and monitor what's coming in. So you can choose a directed receipt action in 12.2.6 for lot and serial controlled items as well, and against any of those supported documents, purchase orders, recs, advanced ASNs, RMAs, and so on. But it's also designed for tablets, as well as your desktops and laptops. So that's the nice thing about these HTML UIs. Earl touched on it for order management, which did a complete overhaul of all their forms. We're doing it in phases in inventory and WMS. But again, it's really nice, and it looks great on tablets as well as your desktop and laptops. But obviously in the warehouse, we think people are walking around maybe with tablets, or perhaps they're stationary and using a laptop. But looks good either way. Now, we were also added a shipping user interface, and that came in 12.2.6. And this, again, helps you with your shipping operations. So, again, the same information tiles, and you can look at it, again, on a tablet, but also laptops. There's a nice landing page. It's going to give you that simple summary and drill-down capabilities for your daily shipping operations. And it's the same role-based access that you have today. So similar to the way you sign in today to EBS, it's the same role-based access for your users as well. Another great enhancement for the user interface is Material Workbench, a very, very powerful tool, as some of you may know. This is in 12.2.7. So this is really where you're looking at your item material search, any material status changes, any transfers of material, any inventory adjustments, any priority reservations. You can search for them here. So again, a very powerful search where you can view in different dimensions. You know, you can look at something by location, by item, by a cost group, by status, by a license plate number, or LPN, serial lots, and grades. So again, very powerful form, or actually HTML screen here, replacing the form. And we think we tried to, again, got a lot of user input here on what to do, and it's a very, very powerful tool. So hopefully you'll get a chance for you and your users to take advantage of that. So one of the old standbys is always our MSCA applications, our mobile supply chain. So previously, people would use these on hard devices, and we still support those, all those rugged devices that you may use on the warehouse floor from our various vendors. But one of the things we were getting asked of this was, can you do it on a phone? Okay, people are moving to phones. People still use rugged devices, and we still support those from the different vendors. But people really wanted to see if we could do this on the phone, because you can actually make the phones rugged as well. So we now support MSCA on Android and iOS, so for your Samsung and or Apple devices, and it uses the same validation and personalization across all your operating systems. So it's something that's very powerful, something that's been asked many times. It's supported on 12.1.3 as well as 12.2, just like our other smartphone applications. And again, it does all the great things that MSCA does for you today. And a little bit more information on that. Again, kind of a look on what we're doing. We have personalization support that you know and love with the standard MSCA. Single sign-on, there's hotkeys. We have a numeric keyboard to make it easy for those operators to enter their information, quantities. And it's available on 12.1.2 and 12.1.3. And there's a MOS note, again, that you can look up. And again, this presentation will be shared. So you can look that MOS note up, and it has all the details on how to utilize mobile supply chain for iOS and Android, in addition to all the new features. So another requested enhancement is Oracle Transportation Management integration. So OTM, or Oracle Transportation Management, is we continue to enhance the integration. So now in 12.2.7 and 12.2.8, we handle the delivery details. They're combined to form a transportation planning batch in OTM. We actually are grouping the delivery lines by origin destination pair into sub-batches, and then those sub-batches are individually sent to OTM. And those sub-batches correspond to an order release in OTM. So again, it's much easier to use. There's no need to build deliveries prior to transportation planning. It's much better. It's much more optimal for planning shipments with greater flexibility. Ship units can be split if needed, and it's backwards compatible to support the previous integrations with EBS-defined deliveries maintained during transportation planning. So again, we continue to enhance this. Again, this is always 100% almost done with getting feedback from our customers that are using shipping with Oracle Transportation Management. So we continue to enhance this very critical integration. So something else we're added in 12.2.8. We were kind of taking you through all the 12.2 releases here, and just to pause for a moment to make sure everyone knows where we are. We are currently release 12.2.7 was released last September. We're now getting very close to releasing 12.2.8. So for those of you who may wonder, you're kind of getting a very, very early preview into what's in 12.2.8, and that'll be released sometime within the next month or so, close to open world. And Earl showed some 12.2.8 features, as I will here. But one of the big things we did in Oracle Warehouse Management is we added the mobile task dashboard. And basically, this dispatching engine will enable you or your operators to dispatch tasks to a warehouse operator based on their eligibility to perform the task, along with priority. So it really enables them to view all eligible tasks for the current task group and select desired tasks. So again, it really improves the efficiency. I'm going to show you a few screens here to show what I mean. So again, you can look for attachments, ship instructions, pack instructions. In this case, we're going to look for a task group and select a task number. You can scan it, select it, and you're done. So again, much more efficient on how to do it. Here you could just enter your pack instructions. And then it's also really good. We just really learned from this, and we really tried to reduce the redundancy of keys and allowing that drop-by location. It enables the users to, in a drop, in a single step, perform all outbound activities loaded for LPNs destined for the same locator. And it really eliminates the need to perform a separate drop for each LPN loaded. And it just overall increases the efficiency of the picking process. So, again, we're very involved with getting feedback from our customers, and this is one of the key ones, and we added this, and it's coming very soon in 12.2.8. So let's briefly talk about yard management. It's a new product that was released as part of 12.2.4, so if you would like to use it, you have to be on 12.2.4 or later. And basically it's a black hole or blind spot of the supply chain. If you use yards and you have a lot of trucks or vehicles coming in and out, you know, this product really helps you track those shipments coming in and out of your yard, and it really helps reduce detention and demurrage costs. Okay, so any private fleet or third-party tractor and trailer units can be tracked using yard management while they're on your premises. So any raw materials, packaging supplies, finished goods, they can be moved very efficiently within your if you have a campus-style yard environment. Okay, and it's also going to help increase that dock door efficiency that you really need for your any automated truck loading systems and any just-in-time production operations. So again, it's a really nice product. We really think we've covered all the bases here with your check-in, moving, seal, unseal, all the things that have to happen with your trucks and vehicles. You can check out, and again, keep track of all those loads coming in and out of your yard. We provide a graphical yard workbench as part of yard management, and it's a really sweet way for you to use your dock for dock appointment scheduling. You can create your dock appointments in yard management, and they'll be reflected in both WMS and OTM. And then you can also optionally collaborate with your carriers to tender and schedule those appointments, those carrier appointments in OTM. And those dock appointments will be reflected both here in Yard as well as Oracle WMS. So really tight integration, and you can see all that information in the Graphical Yard Workbench helps you get to that info pretty quickly. But you can see here how it's color-coded with what's checked in, what's out. It can visually identify something that's pending a move and graphically define those areas and spots. And the nice thing about yard management is when it was built in 12.2.4, it was built with being RF and tablet ready. So the user interface is already there. It's all built in HTML or mobile. We made a mobile yard management too, again, for those people that are maybe walking around the yard. They can have a rugged phone device to capture all the appointments and check in as needed. So let's just go through our roadmaps really quickly. Going back to order management, this is an eye chart, and again, I'm not going to go through this. It's really meant to just show you our commitment and investment in EBS for many years to come. And this is just a really nice thing for you to look at. Again, once you get the presentation later, it shows you what we've done in 12.2.7, which came out in September 2017, 12.2.8, which is pending per safe harbor, but we're on target. We're in last QA for 12.2.8, and then anything, everything we're starting to plan. We're planning right now for the next release, 12.2.9 and beyond. So, we're starting to take note of that, and again, would love to get your input. So that's what these roadmaps are. This is for channel revenue management. Again, continued commitments, releasing things in 12.2.8 that are all covered and beyond. Same thing for just general order management logistics. This is a nice combination of what we talked about today, what was in 12.2.7, what's coming in 12.2.8, and what we're looking at beyond. So again, these are very dense sets of information, but very useful if you're looking at where, our roadmaps are going. And then overall for supply chain, for manufacturing, asset lifecycle management, what are we doing in those areas? Again, this is kind of the comprehensive slide that brings it all together for across supply chain, including order management and logistics. So how can you get engaged? Basically, we'll pass it over to OU in a few minutes, and they'll talk about their services, but we have free access to hundreds of videos. Every time we go to a conference, if you can't make it, that's okay. You can actually go to this site. Even though it says subscription, it's free. We record everything. You can go look at it, and it's really, really helpful. But more importantly is, again, we went very quickly through this presentation, and you'll get access to it, but there's much more depth of information available to you. There's an EBS 12.2 Information Center on My Oracle Support. We have EBS release content documents, which actually show you everything we've done from the beginning, 12.1.3 all the way through 12.2.8. Very, very powerful. The TOI training I just talked about, and then there's a full set of documentation. And our documentation is enhanced every release, and it's still very, very useful. And these will be live links. You'll be able to click on these and go directly to these things. Obviously, for MOS, you need to sign into MOS. But again, we really encourage you to share this with your teams. It's an abundance of information, and it can all be done self-paced, right? A lot of this stuff, especially the TOI and those videos, can all be done self-paced. It's a good training tool. So now I'll pass it back to Rory, and she'll go over this slide with you.
Thank you, Lenore. On your screen, you will see a list of key contacts within the Applications Unlimited organization who support only your on-premise license applications and are solely focused on the success of your EBS investment. Our organization can help you with licensing quotes, demos, presentations, help with support issues, and any of your other on-premise license questions you might have. Listed on the slide, you will see both myself and my peers and the verticals and regions we each support. Michael Fabijanek covers the top 100 financial services as well as the Eastern region that is not covered by any other vertical that you see on the slide. Matt Lee covers healthcare, higher ed, life sciences, high tech, comms, media, and entertainment, as well as the Central region that's not covered by any of the other verticals you see listed here. And myself, my name is Rory Johnson. My team covers retail, CPG, and the Western region not covered by any of the other verticals. Please feel free to reach out to any one of us, and we would be happy to help you. You can also reach out to Natalie Bianey or the licensed sales email alias. There's a general alias here you'll see right under Natalie's name. And we can help get you connected with your license rep or assist you in whatever else you may need. And now I'd like to hand it over to Geraldine Stiles, Senior Marketing Manager with Oracle University.
Thank you, Rory. It is my pleasure to help host today's webinar and to talk about Oracle University's commitment to eBusiness Suite training and certifications. You will find us on the Oracle.com homepage by clicking on Get Training. You can see the little button there on the slide. Now let's take a look at some of the training Oracle University has for eBusiness Suite customers. Oracle University provides formal training in different formats to meet the needs of the learner, from traditional in-class training to live virtual classes, training on demand, and learning subscriptions. Live virtual classes are taken just as you would at a training center, but over WebEx like we did today. With training on demand, you get the full benefits of an in-person course at your own pace with instructor interaction and on a live environment. So from across 6 different learning paths, we have 207 courses, including courses in 6 languages, as well as 9 distinct Oracle certifications. We can also conduct custom tailored events, and we provide the whole suite of eBusiness training as part of our unlimited product learning subscription. You can easily purchase individual courses and subscriptions on the website, or you can ask us to conduct a training needs assessment and team training plan. Just as innovations and improvements are made to eBusiness Suite, Oracle University continues to improve our world-class learning environment. The latest innovation is our unlimited product learning subscription, which includes all of the product learning subscriptions, such as eBusiness Suite, database, and middleware, as well as all of the product training on demand courses, including the 58 courses for eBusiness Suite. Students get the entire suite of online training on Oracle products for 12 months for not much more than the cost of a 5-day in-class experience. Now let's take a look at our Oracle University contact information. Here is our contact information. Please reach out to us for any questions you might have about what Oracle University offers. In a few minutes we have remaining, I would like to turn this back over to Earl and Lenore, who will moderate any questions that we have come through the chat window. Do we have any of those questions ready?
So I'd also like to note that Earl and we put our emails here for a reason. We're very happy, if you don't have a question today, for you to reach out to us at any time. We're happy to talk to all of our customers, and as I mentioned earlier, we really are looking for input on future product functionality. We do have a place on My Oracle Support where you can enter ideas or enhancement requests, and we moderate that, and we use that as part of our planning process. So again, we'd like to make this as interactive as possible, and again, it doesn't just end here today. We can continue the conversation after this call.
There is a question on the chat, Lenore, and Ravindra is asking what HTML UIs are now available in 12.2.6, 12.2.7 in areas of order management, inventory management, and purchasing. That's a pretty broad question. I can't speak for purchasing or inventory. Lenore can perhaps speak to that, but you can essentially do your whole job taking an order, reserve product, book it in HTML today.
And as I talked about earlier, we have receiving and shipping and the material workbench available in inventory and WMS, in addition to, then the mobile applications. But the HTML and inventory and warehouse management is receiving, shipping, and material workbench. We continue to, and the mobile task dashboard is coming in 12.2.8. So again, I would recommend for him to look at the RCDs for those products, and in particular procurement, obviously is doing the same thing. If you look at the procurement RCD, the inventory RCD, the logistics RCD, and the order management RCD, you can go through the table of contents and quickly locate HTML user interface upgrades in those product areas, and it'll answer your question more completely.
And another question about public instance to test these new functionalities. Will this be in your own environments? We don't provide a public instance to test the EBS on-premise products.
Right.
So the presentation, I'm not sure how you're going to get the presentation, but perhaps Rory, you can explain what you're doing with the presentation or how they can obtain them, because I do not believe we're going to be emailing them out to everybody.
In the next couple of days, most likely beginning of next week, we will send a follow-up email with a link that will have the recorded presentation and PowerPoint available.
Another question on the line is, can we pick a sales order with multiple lines just by scanning the product? I'm not sure whether you know that, Lenore. They deal in bulk serial numbers. They get 100. They just want to scan 100 items, and would that automatically fulfill the order?
It should, but I'd have to verify that. If you could shoot me an email, and we'll make sure you get the proper answer for that. We can even set up a call if needed. But I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Michael Lane has asked the plan to make OM inventory 100% HTML eventually. We plan on making every form in order manager, I'll speak to that, HTML available, but we're not going to remove the forms. There are some people that truly like the forms and they have no intention of moving, and we're not going to eliminate that functionality for them, but we will continue to fulfill HTML screens for order management.
Yeah, and for inventory, same thing. We took a slower approach than OM, meaning we're doing as much as we can every release, and we're getting there. So, but as Earl said, we'll never remove the forms because, believe it or not, there are a lot of customers that do love their forms, because there are certain things like folder forms and things that you really get in the forms that, HTML, not our technology, you just can't get it in HTML.
So another question is there any feature to create sales orders at any stage of the sales order without an item? Now, if you're referring to, can you create a sales order for a tangible item and a non-tangible item? Yes, that capability is there today. Another one for you, Lenore, is serial numbers can now be captured at any stage. Oh, no, somebody's saying, oh yes, serial numbers can now be captured at any stage of the manufacturing fulfillment process. Does this require WMS to be installed?
Well, it depends on the transaction. So you can put items serial controlled, and obviously depending on what the transaction is, if it's a WMS-only transaction, you need to have WMS. But for some of the ones, you just need to enable serial tagging for an item in the organization. So, yeah, you can do it for process manufacturing as example.
So you don't need WMS. Perfect.
Right.
Do we intend to add functionality to be able to perform margin checks on quotes and orders? That functionality has been out there for, I believe, 2 or 3 releases in order management, many more releases in order management to look at a margin. But we enhanced that, I'm thinking it was 12.2.5, where you can not only look at your margin, you'll see what your margin is based on the cost of the goods, based on whatever you want to put in there, any adders, based on any accruals. So we've enhanced that so that you can look at it and you know that when you say your margin is going to be 20%, you see it's going to be 20%, you know it's going to be 20% after everything has been added, factored in. Any vision environments available where we can view these enhancements? I'll let you handle that one, Lenore.
Well, it depends if you're a partner. Sounds like you might be a partner if you know about vision, or if you're a customer. Well, if you're a partner, our partner organization does have environments available for partners. If you're a customer, again, you would have to have some sort of internal environment set up. It's a lot easier now. You could use EBS on cloud and stand up a 12.2.7 environment to see that with your own information, with your own data. So, you know, that's one way. We got a couple questions around this. You could get an EBS cloud environment and stand up the latest release and do a lift and shift and do some testing if you have that in your budget and you want to do a proof of concept on what's available. But again, partners have access to demo environments. Customers, you'd have to do it on your own system or in the cloud.
Another question is there a list of forms that have HTML UI for all of EBS? And I can say no, that is not available. In fact, it's never a one-to-one.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly right.
Order organizer, for example, you don't have to have that ability. You can sort and create your views in HTML. Exactly,
and that's the way our paradigm of when we move things or recreate them in a user interface. We don't do a copy and paste. That's not what user interface is about. That's not what user interface design is about. So you really look at the role. Things have changed dramatically since we first created forms, many, many years ago. So, you really look at the role of the person, and that's the way we used when we designed our new HTML UIs is, we might have combined several forms into one. But really, again, it was a full overhaul of design principles, looking at the role of the user and not doing a one-for-one. So the list wouldn't make sense because that's really not what we're doing in the 21st century.
Okay. So another question we have is, can you share any news on when 12.3 might land? We'll leave that for Cliff Godwin. He'll talk about that in a later session. But right now, we can't tell you when it'll be, if it'll be or when.
Yeah, but I don't think what we're doing now with EBS, it's really a continuous release. So I don't even know if there'll be a 12.3. Again, look for Cliff's open world presentation. We're really on this continuous release process where there might not be a major upgrade like that. We're going to try to do everything in line with these 12.2.x releases. But again, as Earl states, look for Cliff's open world presentation to state that. But we're really going forward more with the mentality of just making it, 12.2 might be the last major upgrade, and it's not even that major. But once you get 12.2, it's just like a continuous release from there on in. But again, stay tuned for that.
Another question is, do we know the release date for 12.2.8? Well, let me step away from anything electrical and metal. But at Oracle, we don't usually give that information out. But if I were betting man, I would say it'll be this calendar year. And as Lenore alluded to, sometime in Q4 of the calendar year.
Right. It's coming soon. Like I said, we're in the final stages of QA and certification. So we usually target around open world. So definitely by the end of this year.
Another question I'm not sure, I know I can't answer it. What are Oracle's plans for adapting to WebAssembly, the future of Java in regards to WebAssembly? That's not something I can answer.
Let's take that one offline. I need to review that in more detail.
All Are any features being added to consider pick and pack times into available to promise without having to write an extension for it? Have you logged an enhancement request? Have you been into ideations and put that request in there for the individual who asked that question?
That's a good request. So we would love to have that in our My Oracle Support ideation forum so that we can look at that. That's something, sounds like it's something we could consider.
Mobile approval will work with release 12.2.8? That's a question. Yes, mobile approval, unless you know something I'm not aware of, Lenore, mobile approvals will still work in 12.2.8.
Yes.
It hasn't been eliminated.
That's right.
And that looks like we've come to the end of the questions.
But again, if you have any further ones, please shoot Earl and I an email, and we can take it up at any time. We'd love to interact more with our customers, so feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody out there that knows us knows that we're very, very friendly. What is the technology that you used to build HTML UI pages? Oracle Application Framework?
Correct.
Yeah, for our EBS, eBusiness Suite HTML framework is Oracle Application Framework.
Or OAS, correct.
So when Oracle's taking the core forms into web screens, we're looking at that. We're always looking at, when we do that, adding lots of new features and functions in those screens. Are we taking into consideration the SOX violated functions so we don't end up with segregation of duties, conflict issues? I can say that I'm doing that when we do anything with forms, and I can't speak to everybody, but I'm sure anybody designing in Oracle, designing a new HTML form, is cognizant of the fact that we have legal issues that we have to be aware of.
Of course.
Upgrade from release 12.2.7 to 12.2.8. Will it be easy or have some technical complexity? It will be very simple. If you're on the 12.2 code line, it's just, you're not going to be shutting down for the weekend. You shouldn't be shutting down for the weekend to upgrade.
Yeah, there's a big change. After going from, if you went from 11i to 12.1.3, obviously that was a very large upgrade and painful in some cases. But, and then it dwindled. 12.1.3 to 12.2 is not bad, but once you get to 12.2, especially with online patching, you know, again, we've really learned a lot from all those past upgrades throughout the many years. So it's really a lot easier.
Yeah, if you've done it the 12.2 properly, you're just going to be able to keep your workers happily engaged, working, and bounce the server, and boom, they're going to be on the new release. I can't answer the next question saying some foreign company has a service order concept which provides a template to perform a statement of work, use it to further process quotes and execution orders, help organize work for service-oriented orgs. I would need more details on that. We'll take that offline. Fire off an email on that. A lot of the questions, if it's too complex to answer this time, we're available to answer an email requirement. If I was on next question, to be on the safe side, as a customer, what is the recommendation? We are on release 12.2.7 to still wait to release 12.2.9. That really is up to you. You have to look at what features, you know what's coming in 12.2.8. You have to decide, is there anything substantial that would require you to upgrade? Remember that it's not necessary to upgrade the entire suite. If you're on 12.2.7 and something in warehouse management or something in order management you want, you can just upgrade that family pack. It's not necessary to do the entire eBusiness suite at that time. So again, anytime you're looking at that, you want to determine what's in the future for you. Should I wait? Do we do it now or do I wait? That's a question you got to ask yourself. Now it looks like we're out of questions.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for attending. Thank you, Earl and Lenore and Geraldine. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Earl and Lenore have their email addresses up here. We'll be following up with the PowerPoint that will have Geraldine's and my contact information as well. We will be providing the replay of the presentation, which will include all of the contact information and the content of today's presentation. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Bye all.
Bye all.